Now link up with Eshoma Moimodu and TJ Suadeoye in our Abuja studio for FCT Brief. Good morning, guys. Looking forward to the conversation after now. So take it away.
Good morning, Veronica.
Morning.
It's good to see you again this morning, and happy Children's Day.
And it's good morning, Veronica, and to the team over there. Happy Children's Day.
Oh, quite an unfortunate situation that happened here in Abuja, the suicide bomb that went off yesterday. I just feel it's a wake-up call to the security agencies. They need to double up. I know that they have been trying a lot, but if you notice, during the Jonathan era, we witnessed something like this approaching the election. So it's time to, I think, double up efforts. Tighten up security and, you know, improve on intelligence, because I believe that one or two intels would have gone up somewhere about it, and it's just quite an unfortunate situation.
I agree with you perfectly that it's a sad moment bringing back the old times where people were living with fear. But I think if we tighten up security at various public spaces, churches, mosques, and all that, let's go back to tightening up security and be conscious. Like they usually say, if you see something, say something, because the most important type of security is you should be eternally vigilant.
Of course.
And don't just depend on the security agencies to protect you. Yes, it's their duty, but you also have a responsibility to protect yourself. So in this, as we move forward closer to the election, we should be conscious and be highly suspicious of the next month. If you suspect a movement, raise an alarm.
Of course.
It's better that way.
Of course.
Let's go to what we have for you today. Like we said earlier, happy Children's Day. And this is FCT Brief. We are live from our Abuja studio. And thank you for tuning in. Our spotlight today is on Nigeria's main opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, as it continues to grapple with internal crisis and the daunting task of coalition building ahead of the crucial 2027 general elections. With barely 2 years before Nigerians head to the polls, the PDP remains deeply divided. At the heart of the crisis are the ongoing tussle to control party structures across states and zonal levels, the unresolved crisis in Rivers State between the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike and the suspended state governor Sim Fubara. The recent unilateral withdrawal of Minister Wike from all previous agreements in the PDP and promise to fight on this and to the sealing of the PDP national headquarters by the Federal Capital Territory Administration is another sore point. All these and more have brought the one-time largest party in Africa to its knees.
Not just that, party elders and former governors and the PDP Governors Forum have openly clashed over the direction of the party. The mass defections and further threats across states have only deepened the rift. Meanwhile, attempt at reconciliation championed by the team led by a former president of the Senate, Bukola Saraki, is already being threatened. Beyond internal wranglings, the PDP also faces obstacles in forming strategic party alliances ahead of the 2027 election. Also, there is no certainty that the much talked about National Executive Committee meeting scheduled for today, Tuesday, would hold due to the lingering agitation of who is the authentic National Secretary of the party. As 2027 draws closer, the PDP survival may well depend on its ability to swiftly put its house in order, maneuver some landmines, embrace internal democracy, and form credible coalition. The clock is ticking, and so far, the signs are far from reassuring. For more on the PDP's crisis and the challenges in coalition building, let's speak with the former Deputy Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Diran Odeyemi, who joins us live via Zoom. It's good to have you on the program, Mr. Odeyemi. And also joining us here in the studio, we have a political analyst, Usman Okai, and he joins us live here in the studio. It's also good to have you in our studio this morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Nigeria.
Well, let's jump straight with the conversation. I will begin with you, Mr. Odeyemi. There's still confusion over the NEC meeting because of the controversial letter signed by Samuel Anyanwu. From your perspective, who should be called the National Publicity Secretary for the PDP?
National Secretary.
National Secretary. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, as it is now, according to the consensus opinion of the leaders of the party, the secretary remains the deputy national secretary of the party because of the crisis we have right now. You will agree with me that even the Supreme Court that gave judgment left a kind of a lacuna which more or less confused the situation the more. And the lacuna was that if I appeal against the previous judgment that he should be removed as the secretary of the party, and the Supreme Court now issued a statement or give a judgment that it is the party's right to choose who will be the secretary. And the party, in their wisdom, decided to put aside Anyanwu and Okai and decided to use the deputy national secretary. I think it's a wise decision and it's something that should not be queried or should remain. So in my own opinion, I think just to balance the equation and to sort out the issue, the deputy national secretary remains the secretary of the party.
Mr. Odeyemi, the NEC meeting that was scheduled to hold today, I'm not sure it's going to hold. Yesterday, they had the stakeholders meeting, the BOT, the NWC, the Governors Forum, all met. And from indications, it seemed as if the letter written by Anyanwu has prevailed because he said the NEC has been postponed indefinitely. So, what is the true position of things? He wrote a letter that the NEC has been postponed, and I'm not sure that the NEC meeting will hold today.
What I know is that all our stakeholders and the respected leaders are in Abuja. So we are still waiting to see what will be the outcome of their, gathering. There were a series of meetings held yesterday among the governors, the BOT, the NWC. So we will wait till, the afternoon to see if they are going to have the meeting or not.
Let's come to you here in the studio, Mr. Austin. I'll still dwell on this issue of the PDP National Secretary. Is this really a misunderstanding of the Supreme Court judgment, or this is just party leaders not refusing to do the right thing?
The Supreme Court caused more problem. It's like you approach an elders in the family, among the three children fighting, who is the senior. And instead of the father to say, you, Mr. Bola, you are the first son, or you are the senior, he said people should go and ask yourself who is supposed to be the senior. So there has been a crisis within the party, which they approach the court of competent jurisdiction. This is not the lower court. We are talking of the apex, the Supreme Court, whose pronouncement becomes law. Instead of the courts to do the right thing, they did the same thing in the Labour Party. Is the crisis not going on in the Labour Party today?
So the Supreme Court...
Then the Supreme Court failed to... The internal mechanism of the party has failed itself, and they approached the Supreme Court to interpret what's supposed to be, and they refer them back to... So the Supreme Court created this problem. They created this problem. Ideally, just as the former Deputy Public Secretary said, the party organs, which include the National Working Committee, the Governors Forum, which is the very powerful organs of the party, has agreed that since the Southeast is causing problem where the people to Okai and Anyanwu came from, let the two people go aside, and they nominated the deputy to oversee the activities of the secretary of the party for now. And Anyanwu said he's refusing. Why? Okai said he's refusing. And then last week, the Southeast nominated Okai. I don't know you get it now. So above all, I can say, since the party is failing itself to resolve the problem, the Supreme Court has also failed the party. I am suggesting that there is an infiltration. I am suggesting that the party should look inward and ensure today's NEC meeting, because the letter from Anyanwu will still not be recognized. Look at that letter, it's treated as a factional letter. As not the authentic chairman, secretary of the party, recognized by the various organs of the party, his letter cannot nullify the NEC meeting. The caucus meeting continued by 10 o'clock, and which may lead to the NEC meeting. And thank God for the president. I must appreciate the president and commander-in-chief who intervened over the sealing of the party secretariat yesterday by ordering that the whole issue, this is democracy. And I must commend the president for that. So I don't see anything stopping the NEC meeting of, today's next meeting, because the Supreme Court said the issue of the National Secretary is internal affair of the party, and internally they have taken the decision by asking Samanyang and Okai to take a
Mr. Usman rightly said the Supreme Court has spoken, and Supreme Court, I think, only tried to make sure that party understands party supremacy and learn how to effect their own rules. So the Supreme Court said it is within the powers of the party to decide. So how has the Supreme Court failed in that? If the party has no internal democracy, you don't blame your failure, your inability to exert and effect.
That is why we have a court of competent jurisdiction. That's why we have a court. If you are aggrieved, you approach the court. And someone is aggrieved by the decisions taken by the internal mechanism of the party, and he has approached the court, and the court has refused to take the decision. And I say this thing is also causing problem in Labour Party between Abu-led factions and the Naji Usman faction. You are seeing what is happening. So the pronouncement by the Supreme Court or from the Supreme Court would have solved this problem. Either you like it or not, you have to comply with the ruling of the Supreme Court, which is the Supreme. By failing to take decision on that, they created more problem for the party. That is what I'm saying. And that is simple. Assuming the Supreme Court bold enough to say that Samanyang, you are the National Secretary. Okai, being nominated, you are the National Secretary. By now, Samanyang would have found it way, either through internal reconciliation, or you can go to another party, or you accept the, you can't say you will not accept the decision of the Supreme Court. Where are you going to? Is it ECOWAS Court?
All right, Mr. Odeyemi. Mr. Odeyemi, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. The PDP leaders seem desperate to keep the party together, but are they focusing on the real issues, or they are just obsessed with blaming Wiki for what is happening?
Anyway, wherever you see human beings contesting for power, there are about to be friction. What is happening in PDP is not more than all these stakeholders trying to have a hold of the heart of the party. And that is why the issue of the secretary has been very germane, in this crisis. You will recall that Wiki recently accused Makinde of trying to change the agreement they had somewhere. Of
Okay.
All right, Mr. Okai, if you can just give us an insight into the question I asked. Do you think the party leaders are actually addressing the real issue confronting the party, or they are just or concentrating or shifting blames?
Yes, it's not okay, look at it now. The Wiki now accusing Makinde, which is one of his close allies, which they fought article together. G5 that worked for the election of President Tinubu, even while they were in PDP. I don't know if you get it now. So what exactly is this agreement that they are not maintaining with Wiki? From the time of Sekudos, Atiku Abubakar, Tamboa, all of them, everybody is betraying Wiki. What is this agreement between Wiki and the leadership of the PDP? I think it's time Nigerians should know. I don't know if you get it now. This agreement with Makinde, is Makinde speaking for PDP? In what capacity? Is it the acting national chairman that can reach agreement with Wiki on behalf of PDP, or the chairman of the Governors Forum? I don't know if you get it now. This is time Nigerians should ask the Minister of FCT and his allies and the leadership of PDP to be transparent. This is democracy. Let them open up to us. Not to say there is a betrayal, there is an agreement, they don't keep the agreement. What is this agreement that they are not keeping?
All right, I hear that we have Mr. Odeyemi back. Can you just finish with what you were saying before we move on?
So what I was saying was that, Bukola Saraki's committee was set up to reconcile all aggrieved leaders. It's an effort that we just must set things right within the party. So we are all making effort. And you can see that the governors are meeting, the BOTs are meeting, and the National Working Committee are not resting on their own. So we believe that PDP will remain strong and must remain strong. And that is why reconciliation talks are going here and there. And the essence of today's meeting is to look further into whatever might be the crisis and the solution. And above all, whether anybody likes it or not, by November, the administration of this National Working Committee will come to an end, and the new leadership will have to take over. And that is why all these arguments about who is the secretary and who is the chairman will be laid to rest.
At the stakeholders meeting, the one that held yesterday, there are some persons that are strategically missing from from the meeting, and some persons are saying it's raising some concerns. The former Vice President Atiku Abubakar was not present. The former President of the Senate, David Mark, was not there, and also the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, was not present at the meeting. Now, that suggests that there is more to this crisis than meets the eye.
It will be wrong to misinterpret their absence to be something political. Let us leave it as it is for now. That they were absent yesterday does not mean that they will not be present today. And if they are not present today, it's never an indication that they will not abide by whatever is the decision or the outcome of the meeting. So let's leave that apart. It is still political talk.
Mr. Austin, taking a look at this, of previous meeting has held, and some persons say these key persons we just mentioned, Tambuwal, Saraki, Atiku, were not present. Is that a way of walking away from the party? Because there's a talk about coalition also building. And is that a way of saying, look, they're walking away from the PDP because you have some leaders of the PDP walking away from the party?
I think that Atiku is still in PDP. He's just being politically, he's trying to be economic with the reality. You know he's on his way out already. They are forming a coalition and they are looking for the platform to use. I don't know again because of the legal crisis in PDP. So I'm not expecting Atiku to attend that meeting, except if you want to go into his coalition with some PDP leaders. So Saraki, I think Saraki has just been inaugurated for a reconciliation committee. Him not being there is something
okay. David Mark.
Okay, you want David Mark. He has not been physical in most of the meetings of recent. I don't know you get it now. So, but that does not take away his commitment and loyalty to the party. That is just the reality. So on Atiku, Tambuwal, and you know that there is a serious political coalition ongoing, which Atiku is championing it. And the PDP, as of today, he's saying they are not ready to. In the statement issued by the Senate leader, Senator Abamoro, said the PDP will lead the coalition, not the one led by an individual. Who is the individual he's talking about? He's talking about Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the immediate candidate of the party, and Peter Obi, the former vice president candidate of the party. So that is the reality. So expecting to see Atiku there, well, the elder is saying that this doesn't amount. But to me, or to any political observers, you are aware that Atiku is already out of PDP. I don't know you get it now. And even the body language of his core supporters, as they are happy with this, the ongoing declaration of the political crisis or misunderstanding between Nyesenwike and Makinde, who they think that they both conspire against their principal, and today they are fighting themselves. Whoever is expecting commitment from Atiku into PDP, I think is being economical with truth.
Well, now the Southeast PDP caucus is threatening also to pull out unless Sunday Ude Okoye is recognized as the national secretary. Aren't these ultimatums like putting the peace process in jeopardy?
Of course. And I think the decisions of the Southeast should be respected. We have only one governor there, the PDP has only one governor there, which is the governor of an Enugu state, who endorsed and signed the nominations of Okai. When I say becomes, PDP has a culture of abiding by the decisions of the governors. And any state they have a governor, the governor is the leader. As it is today, the entire Southeast, the governor of Enugu is the only governor they have. And he is the leader of the entire Southeast. Any PDP decision that should be taken from Southeast today must come through his table. That has been the culture, the norms, and the practices of that party. Why is still different? I don't know you get it now. So that is the reality. And they are saying they will leave the party if their decision is not. Of course, because they are saying that Sam Anyang as a nominee of FCT minister who is from South-South. What if you allow that to scale to that mean the South-South is already controlling the PDP Southeast, which some will consider as a political insult and aberration to them. And the governor of Enugu State is seen to be undermined. Therefore, he may have to leave. What is the need of being in the member of a party where your leadership is being usurped and your recommendation is of no use? I don't know you get it now. Politics is interest. And what you are seeing playing is interest playing at its political high level.
Mr. Odeyemi, let me come to you with this also. A Enugu governor is threatening to move away from the party because of the position of the national secretaryship. Now, also take a look at the position of the national chairman. Also, why is that one not in discussion? Why they fuse about the national secretary? And there's nobody talking about the North Central that has the right to produce the national chairman has been occupied presently by the acting national chairman, Ilyasu Damago. Don't you think the PDP has not been very sincere with itself? So should blame itself for allowing this crisis to persist?
That is to tell you that 2 plus 2 may be 4 in mathematics, but in politics it is not so. What operates with the national chairman is not the same thing as the national secretary. And as a matter of fact, the national chairman may be the head, but the soul of the party remains the secretary. And that is why the issue of the secretary remains, the major issue now. Now, regarding the threat of the Southeast, that, they will leave PDP if Okai is not reinstated as the secretary. I think a positive reason will prevail on them that the best way to maintain sanity and the best way to put aside the crisis now is to allow the deputy national secretary to act, so that all this rascality and ego between the sponsors of Ayahu and Okai will be laid to rest. That is the best decision the party can take. And I think it is now the work of Senator Bukola Saraki to work on the Southeast and ensure that they did not take to that promise, to leave.
Despite these reconciliation moves and, with efforts being made by the Saraki-led Reconciliation Committee, the Akwa Ibom state governor still wants to leave the PDP. And there are talks about more defections to come. Hasn't this completely watered down these peace talks?
You see, everybody is trying to follow a trend of jumping ship to APC. But this is a sad development for democracy in Nigeria. And if you look at it critically, let's put aside PDP that people are leaving. You ask yourself, or you ask the question, on what basis or what are the reasons for them, to leave PDP? If you cannot put right your house, if you cannot be part of the solution to a problem in your political party, how dare you be an aspect to APC that you are going to join? And what is the attraction in APC or the presidency that you now believe that you can leave PDP and go and join APC? And I'm saying it clearly now that the matter of 2027 will not even be between PDP or APC. It will be judged by Nigerians. Nigerians who are hungry, Nigerians who are not smiling because of the maladministration that's going on in Nigeria right now. So let anybody continue to jump. This is not the first time they will leave PDP. Bukola Saraki has left before. Even Atiku has left before. Tamwa has left before. What has become of PDP? PDP did not die. PDP will not die. It's a legacy party that will remain. This is the season for them to join ship. They will soon come back because there's going to be an explosion in APC very soon.
Mr. Usman, let me come back to you on this. There was a meeting recently in Abuja. You had some leaders of the coalition, Atiku Abubakar, Tambuwa, and also Amechi, former governor of Rivers State, was also present at that meeting. What are these indications and also this coalition? Do you think they can really form this formidable front to contest power against the APC in 2027?
Definitely. The P2B was there.
Yeah.
And Atiku was there too. Though El-Rufai was one of the pillars of the coalition talk was missing. Perhaps maybe it's unaware. You can't take away the gathering of such political figures. They are men who have seen power, who have tasted power, and who knows how to manipulate power. Somebody like Amechi, he became second in the last APC presidential primary that produced Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So you can't say who he is. He was a former Rivers State governor. So the gathering is a sign that all is not well within the major political opposition party, which is PDP. I don't know you get it now. Now they are looking for a platform to go to and they are looking for how to share power. But the problem now is timing, because the primary election is fast approaching, and they don't even have a political platform yet to go on. And because of the crisis in PDP, but if they went to SDP, you are aware there's also a problem in SDP. Even as at yesterday, some leaders of the SDP are warning against Tinubu. Their immediate presidential candidate, who is also speaking for SDP, is saying that he is not ready to step down for anybody. And that is not what Atiku wants. He wants a coalition, the platform that will be the sole candidate of it. I don't think you are forming a coalition and you are preparing for any primary election, because you can't manage the post-primary election crisis. And there's no time. By now, they're supposed to have a platform now, currently, but nobody knows where they are going to. The mentioned Labour Party will be declared that he is going to contest. And that 2027 may be his last chance. That is the statement of an affirmation that Obi has made up his mind to contest. And there's also another power tussle, that the coalition is all about Atiku. Anything outside that, Atiku cannot be running mate to Peter Obi. There's that crisis. And some power blocks in the north are saying that instead of allowing or vote for Peter Obi, they should allow Tinubu to continue inside the coalition teams. So that means there's already crack there. And some are saying, let the southern region, the southern candidate should emerge to challenge Tinubu, who is from the south. That there are those people arguing for Peter Obi, so that Atiku should make a sacrifice. Sacrifice is not about the followers. Even the leaders too can make sacrifice.
All right. Speaking about sacrifices, we've seen the current administration now is halfway through into its administration, and we have seen the Tinubu administration reeling out, its achievements so far. With this kind of mass defection into the APC, would you say Tinubu is getting it right in terms of his achievement, and that's what's attracting this mass defection into the APC?
That is what they are saying. Truly, there is a communication between the Tinubu administration and Nigerians. The policies are well being communicated, but still Nigerians are saying they are not feeling the impact of this administration. For instance, every month there's what you call a report from CBN, where they explain to Nigerians the economic situation, the inflation, what lead to this, what lead to that. I think CBN is doing well in that aspect. Two, there's a kind, like, look at what the president did yesterday, of sealing the PDP National Secretariat. It means a lot. What the minister did yesterday morning sent a very bad signal to international community, any democratic advocacy. We're not happy with that development, because it is obvious you are using your power to suppress the party. Within 2 days, you declare you are going to fight on. You went out. No, that is an abuse of power. I must commend the president, just as I said earlier. Look at what's happening in Delta State. Party who told me, and the shadow government. What the DSS did, they went to the court to challenge party. Ordinarily, the DSS that we need to know before, they can even arrest him. I don't know you get it now. Invite him and hold him for some days, that they are doing investigation. But what did they do? Quietly, they went to the court. Let the court decide. If the court said DSS, yes, in line with the national security, you say shadow government, would this, would that, fine. With this, it continue. With this, it cannot continue. That is democracy. I don't know you get it. So there is a little improvement in terms of the communication between Nigerians, the government of Bola Tinubu, but there is more to be done about the hunger on the street. Afraid Nigerians, what is their stand? If you ask them their true position about this government, they will tell you that the government is not doing well. Because of what? It's still unable to address the issue of hunger.
Now, Mr. Odeyemi, just the last question for you. You just talked about the sealing of the PDP secretariat, but would you say for 16 years PDP was in power? Was that a misnomer that the ground rent was not paid because the minister came out and said you didn't pay the ground rent for that particular building? What would you say of these? Or definitely they flouted the law?
That it is a bad politics. If because of the National Executive Council meeting that will take place in that secretariat today, the federal government through the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, decided to seal off the premises. It's a bad politics. And you are sending a very wrong signal to the international community about opposition. And if you are talking about the grand rent, of course, the minister who sees off that property is still a member of PDP, and how much is 7 million or 7 point something million that cannot be paid. You forget about the 14 days time given by the president. An individual within the party can pay off this money. But for the mere fact that I'm not sure if notice was given to the party before it was seen yesterday, but the fact remains that 7 million for a political party is so small that it will now warrant the federal minister, who is a member of the party, to seal it off. I don't succumb to that. I don't think it's a good politics.
All right, Mr. Diran Odeyemi, it's a pleasure speaking with you. That's why we'll have to leave the conversation this morning. Thank you so much for your time with us. Also, Mr. Usman. Thank you. Mr. Usman Okai, it was a pleasure speaking with you this morning. Thank you for your contributions.
Thank you. But did you inform me that that was my last question?
So we've run out of time, unfortunately. But we thank you. You've contributed so much. But thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, that's where we'll leave our conversation this morning. We'll now hand you over to our legal studio where Veronica and the rest of the crew are standing by to continue with the rest of the show.
Okay, thank you, Tijesu. Thank you, Shomomo, for that interview. All right, we'll quickly go on a break. When we return, it will be time for stories that are trending now. Stay with us.